you. I feel happier than when I first came here, so I think it's probably true that it's more natural. Would you like to wear one of these, or are you going to use the
I
podium?
will be talking to the children.
Okay.
So if that's the case, I guess we just leave this to the side.
Yes, and I can mute it for you, of course, from the back. So I did do some fiddling with these, and I think I upped the gain on both of them, so they should be picking up from a little
Wanna
farther
take a
away.
test? I gotta remember how to do this. Okay, so this should be on right now.
It was picking you up. I can hear you.
So, is this working?
Yeah, that sounds really good to me.
Sounds good to you. Okay, as long as everybody goes okay. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thank you. Thanks,
Would you
Mike.
like me to keep it on mute in the back, and then you don't have to worry about the mute button? I'll turn it off when you sing and whatnot. So.
Yeah, please do one. Yeah, do for that. Yes. Thank you. This one soon will be. Huh? Yes? We're good? All right. I'm going to let you work on this one, JC. And when you get it functioning, let me know for the children's message. And if not, I'll use this one. Okay? Again, my name is Dan Reiki. And once again, welcome to our gathering. And I want to talk about it as a gathering because to me, as I have been part of this existence, I've learned that gathering means getting connected. It's getting connected with nature, getting connected with human nature, getting connected with all of life that has become part of us in our food and on our skin and our stomachs. We're all this wonderful connection to life. And in that connection are principles that help us live in better harmony with our world and with one another. And those are our 7 principles. And we're going to have another illustration of 7 principles that are quite similar that I'll use with the children today to whet your appetite a bit. But if you are alive today and you're hearing me, no matter what your background, no matter what the titles that have been given to you or you've tried to live up to or live away from, you are welcome in our fellowship, in our gathering today. So please feel that and believe it because we all are here to support that. We'll now enjoy some, oh yes, we have announcements. Hey, yes, Alan, come.
Thank you, Dan. My name is Alan, and a couple of announcements I'd like to share. The first one is that some handy person made these little crosses, and if anybody would like to take one, there's a whole bunch of them in the box on the table out in the narthex, or foyer, as we say. And then, more significantly, there is an important training being held at Spirit of Peace Church down the road, a couple of miles, next Sunday, the next 2 Sundays at 9 a.m. It would be hard to do both, but if anybody wants to take this in, it really looks worthwhile. It's led by Jen Dreisky from South Dakota Voices for Peace. It's nationally acclaimed training called Bystander to Upstander. Listeners will become empowered to advocate for others by being equipped with skills to realistically disrupt incidents of discrimination and hate. And so we'll be announcing this in the e-blast, which comes out on Wednesdays also. So you can be reminded by reading that. But it sounds like a very important training and totally relates to our program today. So want to make you aware of that. That's at Spirit of Peace, the next 2 Sundays at 9 a.m. It's a 2-part training. Thank you. Now I'll yield the floor to Janet.
Wanted to remind you it's pledge season. And just if you haven't turned in your pledge card yet, please remember to do that as soon as you're able. And remember, if you're signed the membership book and you want to be a voting member, you also have to turn in a pledge. So it doesn't have to be large, but it does have to be turned in so we can know how many people are voting members. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. We'll now enjoy our prelude, Liebestrom. Very peaceful, very nurturing. Thank you, Carol. Please turn in your hymnal to number 601. This is about we the people, so I think we the people need to say these words together because they're good ones as our chalice is lighted today. Number 601. When all the people. When all the people of the world love, then the strong will. The wealthy will not mock the poor. The honored will not disdain the humble. The cunning will not deceive the simple. Thank you. We'll now join in our first song, Let There Be Light, number 142. Stand as you are able, and let us sing this together. All right, I'd like the children to come forward for just a minute. Good morning. Hi. Well, I'm going to introduce you to something kind of fun because we like to try new words that normally we don't say. And here's one of them right here. And I want you to say with me the word Kwanzaa. Try it again. Kwanzaa. You just spoke Swahili. Yeah, that's an Eastern African language. And Kwanzaa means first fruits. Now, what in the world are first fruits? Well, they're the first ones you go for when they're ripe, right? Can you name some fruit that you like to eat? Avocados. Well, all right. Apples. Apples are good. How about some more fruit? Mango. Yeah. And anyone like bananas? Oh, I do too. I love a banana a day. Okay. Well, anyway, you'll see some fruits here. You see some grapes over here. And if the picture were a little bigger, we'd see some pineapple. Hey, do you know what? Corn and tomatoes can also be called, everybody, fruit. Whoa, we learned something new today. Let's have some fruit for supper and eat some corn. It's also a vegetable, but it also qualifies as a fruit. So you could say corn, you can say tomatoes, you can say apples, whatever you like. They're all good fruits, and people like to eat them. Well, anyway, Kwanzaa has to do with celebrating a meal of delicious foods that can be shared. Now, I want you to notice there are candles. Can you count them? How many are there? 7 is right. And there are 7 candles here, and they have different colors. The colors are kind of not as good because my printer didn't work real well, but you can see the first 3 are red, the middle one is black, and the other 3 are green. Okay, so somebody got an idea, and they said, you know, there's sometimes people aren't looked at very kindly when they come to a new location. And that's the way the black people felt when they came and were made slaves and they were in America. And so there was somebody who said, we've got to bring out how important everyone is. And so they put a black candle in the middle, and they put 3 candles on this side that are red, and 3 candles on this side that are green. And they said every time somebody's looked down on and seen as different because of anything, because of the way they look, the kind of language, the kind of clothes, could be anything, right? That makes them feel less than good, right? Because we all want to get along with everybody. So they thought, we're going to represent the black people with a candle in the middle. The red has to do with the things that make them suffer. And we're going to talk about that. What are the things that make them suffer? And we're going to have green candles to talk about what things give them hope, what things make them feel better, what things give them stronger energy and feel love and kindness. And so they decided to have a special time to remember these. And they gave a value, they gave a title for each of these 7 candles that had to do with good things. Everyone is worthwhile. Everyone should be listened to. Everyone should be cared about. And so these candles represent those important principles, and they made seven of them. So what they decided to do was to make something that would hold 7 candles, and once a year they would light the black candle first, and then every next day they would light a red candle or a green one. The red one, they would talk about suffering. What gives people pain? We need to be aware of that. We need to know what it is. And the next day, they'd give a green candle. What can give people hope? Okay, so here you have so you have red candles on this side and green candles on every day. They would take a red one and then a green one, and light another one and another one until they were all lit up. And they called it the Kwanzaa Festival. Now today, we're talking about the Hispanic people a lot, because our speakers are going to talk to us about people who have come from Spanish-speaking areas, could be Latin America, could be other places, and they come to America, and sometimes they're looked down on because maybe their habits, their food, their language, and their background, whatever it is, they are now the people that are sometimes suffering unfairly, unkindly, and that suffering has to be talked about. We need to be aware of that. But we also need to have words of hope. And this is what our speakers are going to do. They're going to use this illustration. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to help everybody get involved with this example, and they're going to do more a little bit later. And here's how we're going to do it. In the ceremony of Kwanzaa, the children would speak 2 Swahili words. You've already got one of them. What is it? Yeah, that's right. And here's the next one. Harambe. Can you say Harambe? Harambe. Try it again. Harambe. Yeah. And Harambe means let's work together. Work together. Work together. Let's pull together, literally. I had to look it up myself. Let's pull together. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We want everybody out here to pull together, right? So we're going to say to them, Kwanzaa. And what are they going to say in back? All right, let's try it. Let's stand up and look at everybody out there, and let's see if they can respond to our Kwanzaa. All right, are you ready to say it? And we're going to do it 7 times because there's 7 candles. Are you ready to go? 1, 2, 3. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. That's it. One more time. Kwanzaa. 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 Now, there are those of you who are counting. What number are we on? 5. I love it. Again, Kwanzaa. One more time. Kwanzaa. All right, let's do it. Let's care about everybody, know their suffering, and find out ways to lift them up. Thank you. let's sing the children out. We come to the part of our service where we like to talk about both joys and concerns. Again, you might think of candles like red would be concerns, green would be joys that help balance us and keep us together. I have one, it's a red today. JC and I, and this gal sitting right here, Amy, go to nursing homes, as you know, and we play music for people in various nursing homes, senior centers, and we enjoy doing concerts there. Well, we were over at Avera Prince of Peace yesterday, and Amy was in there, and we were getting set up, and I looked at Amy, and I stared at her, and I said, "Hi," and my brain went blank, and I said, "Sarah?" And she looked at me and she said, "You don't know my name?" Well, I do know her name, but my brain went into a fog and I called her Sarah. Well, that was very embarrassing for me, because then I say to myself, how bad is my mind becoming? And I begin to feel bad thoughts about myself. I'm either stupid, forgetful, shame on me. All this stuff was descending on how I was feeling. And meanwhile, Amy was called Sarah. So this is a stone saying, "Amy, I'm sorry. I know who you are. I cherish you." And one other thing I want to say is, hopefully everybody can know that even if you get older and do dumb stuff, you'll still be welcomed by people who really love you. So, little red and green, I hope. Anyone else? Is this on?
Well, I'm Alan again. Are we on? One of my passions is the South Dakota Department of Corrections, and I'm concerned that they ought to include the Native American leaders in their prison plans. And so I wrote a letter about that, and I'm happy to announce it was published in the Dakota Scout yesterday. It's on page 11.
Good morning. I'm Kevin, and just want to share that later this week my parents will be purchasing a home in Aberdeen after living, they're still living, in their house in 40 miles away since 1972. And the house has actually been in two different places. But this is for them and their next big step. It's going to still be a slow, sometimes painstaking moving and getting rid of stuff process. But for instance, they're driving to Aberdeen 40 miles about every day for doctoring. Well, it's 80 miles round trip. So this will, I think, will be a good thing for everybody.
I'm sending my thoughts and prayers to the family of Donald Capon, who's a very dear friend of mine, and I met up with his sister, Nejla, and his older sister, and he had cancer that just progressed on him real quick, and so he's now in respite care and is hopefully going to be doing well, and we hope that he's going to be able to find himself in a better place than where he's at right now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Scott. I had no intention of coming up here, but if it wasn't for what you said. Because at work, I have been going through this tremendous drama. Can I learn this fast enough to be able to be a valid worker there, before my mistakes count too much against me? And I was really afraid that I was losing my ability to learn. And they just gave me a neurological test on Thursday and said, yeah, for your short-term memory, you're normal. The rest of you is doing well, extremely well.
It's Bailey. So on Tuesday, I turned 31, which is the age limit for an air traffic controller. I can no longer be hired as an air traffic controller. My application's been pending for 5 years. They take a while. But that's my milestone for this birthday, is that I can no longer be hired by the FAA. As a concern, last weekend I went to my sister's bachelorette party, which was lovely. I was very out of place. She had her birthday too, yes. Piper is 3 as of March 19th. Did you want to say it? Yeah, that. But I went to my sister's bachelorette party last weekend, and on the way home, my car exploded. Yeah, and it turns out that because I didn't hit anything with it or rub some roadkill on the front of it, insurance doesn't cover that. So, any happy thoughts towards me trying to find another vehicle? Great, we were a 1-car household before, so now we're a no-car household, a borrow my mom's car household. So, that's my fun news.
I know there are many more joys and concerns. Happy birthday, Piper. And this looks like a piece of petrified wood. So this will be distilling our real life and all the things that we're still compressing, whether it be joys or sorrows. So this will be our final stone in the water today. And let's take a moment of silence for reflection about just what those joys and sorrows might really be. All right. Our next song is When All the Peoples of This Earth. And you will note a particular word that will pop out in verse 3. So you don't have to say Harambe when you do, but you'll maybe think about it. So anyway, let's stand as we are able and sing number 147, When All the Peoples of This Earth. Our second reading today has been brought to us by our presenters. They asked that this be shared, and I think it's a beautiful text from the Bible, Leviticus, from the Old Testament, chapter 19, verse 34. And I'll try to read it with the weight each word deserves. Thank you. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Our speakers today bring us words that help uplift people. And I understand now, in visiting a little ahead of time, that they help produce something that the whole Hispanic community can enjoy called Que Pasa. And that means what's happening? Yeah, Que Pasa. And so they are going to show us how their organization and news and communication helps both bring out those red candles, the stuff that we need to pay attention to, and also things that are serving to uplift and support and unify people, give them worth. So with that, Nejla Smith and Nancy Reynosa, I don't know how you're going to organize your time together, but you are welcome to the podium at this time. Talk right into this.
Good morning. I'm Nejla Smith. I'm a CPA and owner of Compass Tax and Accounting. Is it? There we go. Thank you. I'm a board member at Que Pasa Sioux Falls, a nonprofit whose mission is to bring news to the Hispanic community and also uplift Spanish-speaking businesses. And I'm a member here at All Souls. So I've had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with many of you over the course of the time that we've been attending here, and it's possible that you've even seen me wear this shirt. It's my favorite. You can't really see it here, but it's my favorite, and it just makes my values clear in the most concise way possible. Birthplace, earth. Race, human. Politics, freedom. Religion, love. No matter our differences, we're all human. We all have worth and deserve dignity as such. Que Pasa Sioux Falls recognizes this and works closely with the Hispanic and Latino community of Sioux Falls and the surrounding area. My good friend, Nancy Reynosa, is the founder of Que Pasa Sioux Falls, and she and I are here to talk to you today about the climate of the immigrant community since January 20th. We as leaders of the community have been feeling that fear and the heartbreak due to the immigration enforcement changes. I'll pass the mic to Nancy here to speak a little bit about Que Pasa Sioux Falls, and I'll be back in a moment to talk about how immigration actions are even affecting tax compliance.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. And like Nejla said, she is actually a co-founder of Que Pasa Sioux Falls with me. We founded it in 2018 based on the need of our Hispanic community that we do not have like a Spanish-speaking channel or news station that can cater to the Spanish-speaking community. And, you know, there's important information that we need to get out to the community. So this was a need in our community that somebody needed to step up and get some information out there. So we were really happy that we did it. And that was in 2018. And 2020 came, COVID. And I think that's when really our work started, when we really were able to let the community know what was going on, what to do, what the safe thing was to do. We would get on Zoom calls with the mayor and ask him, hey, what do you suggest churches do? And so Hispanic churches, then we would let them know what the rules were at the time or what the recommendations were at the time to keep people as safe as possible. And so that was where our job really started, on helping our community and engaging with our community, making sure that they knew what to do in their language. at the time. And now, one of our biggest jobs right now that we're helping our community with is, like Nejla said, with the immigration situation happening since January 20th, our community is scared. And very well so, there's a lot of changes. And so our job as Que Pasa Sioux Falls is engaging with other leaders in the community, other nonprofits, and working together to come up with solutions to get information out to the community through attorneys, through organizations that are doing a lot of work. So we're the voice of the Hispanic community, and we're the ones that connect the Hispanic community to resources that they need for, especially in this time of need. Right now, our community is very, very scared. We have families at the beginning that didn't know whether to send their kids to school or not. They didn't know whether to keep working or not. They didn't know whether they just needed to sell everything, pack, and just leave, right? So there was a lot of things happening right at once, so we needed to come together with other community organizations and figure out a plan and inform our community. Hey, this is what social media is telling you, but we are telling you, please, don't panic. Let's get the information, the details out to you so that you are very well aware of what to do and what not to do during this time of fear. And so that's what we've been working on at Que Pasa Sioux Falls mainly. And again, we are doing some videos with other nonprofits. We are working on launching our podcast also fully in Spanish for our Hispanic community. So we're super excited about that. Thank you.
As Nancy was saying, we've been working a lot with power of attorneys, also having those at the ready and making sure that the Hispanic community knows where they can get those notarized, where they can pick those up. There's been a lot of abuse in the Hispanic community of charging a lot of money for these power of attorneys. They need power of attorneys for child care in case of deportation, power of attorneys for their assets, whether that be, their home, their financial accounts, and whatnot. And so we provide those resources to where you can get a free power of attorney and who can notarize that for you, who are our notaries that are available to notarize those documents once you get them filled out. We're obviously not lawyers, but we do work closely with South Dakota Voices for Peace. As you know, Taniza Islam, she is an immigration attorney here in Sioux Falls, and we're part of the Dream Coalition. That is a group of like-minded organizations that work together in order to provide good, solid information to the immigrant communities of all sorts. But like I said, Que Pasa Sioux Falls, and like Nancy said, we are catered directly with the Hispanic, Spanish-speaking community. As far as, I wanted just to touch base with you and let you know that on a daily basis, I may not be posting on social media about, immigration or what to do, but I'm on a daily basis meeting with my tax clients, and they are really scared. My mom came to me the other day and said, well, why are your tax clients scared? I was like, I told her, well, Mom, there's a lot of people that file tax that don't have Social Security numbers. They don't have legal status, but they are coming and filing and paying tax like everyone else in hopes that they are showing that they are acting like any other citizen. So then at the moment of being able to get their status in order, they can show I've been a good citizen, even though I don't have any sort of citizenship paperwork. So people have been afraid lately to file tax. They're afraid because the IRS is coming to a agreement right now with immigration, which is unprecedented. The IRS has always maintained that they would be completely 100% separate from the rest of federal government, that they would never share information with immigration about their taxpayers. And right now, we may be coming to an agreement that they will share addresses and workplaces of certain people that that immigration requests information for, that have certain deportation orders. So I have a lot of clients that come in and they're really scared. They don't know what to do. I have one client that is going to owe this year, but is afraid to do their taxes. And I just think of the repercussions. I don't think the IRS is going to forgive them for being scared of complying with tax law. So there's a lot of implications to all of the immigration actions that this administration is taking. No one should be afraid to do the right thing. And for a lot of these people, filing taxes is a way of saying, I'm here, I'm contributing, and I belong. Nancy, did you want to talk about knowing your rights a little bit?
Yes. Thank you so much, Nejla. Yes, so a little bit about knowing your rights. Our friends over at South Dakota Voices for Peace, they remind us that we all have rights, regardless of our immigration status, and we should be using them and practicing them. So a lot of the videos that we're doing right now in conjunction with South Dakota Dream Coalition in Spanish and in other languages where there could be other immigrant communities, we are letting people know that you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to answer any questions from anybody. You do not have to open the door for any ICE agency unless they have a judicial warrant signed by a judge. And, not an ICE, it's not an ICE administrative order that they have to comply with. It's a signed judge warrant. And so a lot of people don't know that. So we're making sure that they know their rights with that. You do not have to show proof of citizenship to anybody. People don't know that. So we're making sure that they understand that they also have a right to not sign anything. Unfortunately, a lot of the tactics that ICE agents use to have people comply are lies. So we're letting them know they will do everything possible to lie to you so that you can comply with what they're saying. You have a right to an attorney, Staying silent often stops these encounters before they escalate. And we just want to say this clearly, even though this.
Like I was saying.
Yes.
I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that I think we want to be clear that even though Nancy and I have nothing to fear as far as our immigration status. We have nothing to fear. We have everything in order. We're citizens. But we do plan to follow these steps, these know our rights steps, and plan to act accordingly if we're ever confronted, if we're ever in a situation where any law enforcement, ICE enforcement comes to us and asks us questions. We, in solidarity with our immigrant community, we are practicing our answers. We are practicing and telling our immigrant community as well to practice your answers. What will you say if you're confronted by ICE? What will you say if you're confronted by law enforcement? You do not have to show any proof of citizenship. You have the right to ask if you can leave, and in solidarity, I think it's really important to not answer those questions either. So, as with ¿Qué pasa Sioux Falls and as leaders we are here as leaders of the Hispanic community, but we're more importantly here as neighbors, friends, and just fellow humans. We want not only the Hispanic community to know, but for you to know as well what the rights are so you can help out your friends in the community, the people that you run into as well. Know what these rights are, and that way you can feel empowered. You can feel empowered to help out. You're not alone. They're not alone either. Oh, just one. Yeah, if you want to read that one.
Okay, this one?
Mhm.
Well, thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening and for continuing to stand with each other in love. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nejla and Nancy, for sharing lots of red candles with lots of green too, and helping us all pull together around people who are really needing that kind of security and love. So thank you so much. You're all invited after coffee today to come here about, I think we can get going around 11:15. And have a discussion here and ask further questions and give more support to these people who have come to show us what they're doing. And I think giving them support would be really a great thing to do. Yeah, right on. Our offering today will be, half of it will be going to the Transformation Project. So please give liberally as you are able, and we'll enjoy some beautiful music from Carol, Melody in F by Rubinstein. Please join with me in the words to receive the offering. We give these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. We dedicate these gifts to the work of our congregation, serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Please turn to 594. We were talking about 7 candles, the Kwanzaa and the principles therein. And we have our own 7 principles. 7's a great number. And now let us read together some of these principles as we affirm those values that do knit us together. Principles and purposes for all of us. Number 594. You know, they talk about standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I think it'd be nice if we stood for this reading, if you don't mind. We stand up for these values. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth. We believe that our churches are places where all people are accepted and where we keep on learning together. We affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We believe that each person must be free to search for what is true and right in life. We affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process. We believe that all people We affirm and promote the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Thank you. You may be seated. The third song, you may be seated until we sing it. Carol and I are going to be doing a little preview of it. I've been wanting to add a little violin component to some of our songs because to me, a violin is kind of like an additional voice. And so I'd like to start doing that a little more. And I'd like to begin with this beautiful melody, Spirit of Life. Carol and I will play it through, and then please stand as you are able, and we'll sing it one more time and try to think about the wonderful words of this beautiful song, Spirit of Life, number 123. Let us read the words together for the extinguishing of our chalice. The chalice is extinguished, but the light goes with us out into the world. Theme from Symphony Pathétique, Tchaikovsky. before we go, we have an important meeting. Carol Wolf, our council president, or council, what is the proper title we give her? Liz Wolf, what did I say? Did I say it's Carol? Yeah. I've done it again. I'm a Pocketique bookend today. Liz Wolf, please come and help us through an important decision for our congregation. And I need a knife. I got rocks there plenty right up here.